Alright guys, so this is your video for Spearman Rank correlation. Alright, Spearman Rank correlation. Spearman Rank is pretty much the same thing. It has the same values. It's between -1 and 1, just like the Pearson product moment correlation coefficient. Same exact thing. But the biggest difference with Spearman, though, is all we care about is it increasing or is it decreasing? Okay, that's all we care about. Is it going up or is it going down? That's it, right? So we call this a monotonic function. That means it's just either doing one. Is they're just all increasing or all decreasing, right? So we don't care if it's linear or not. We don't care if it's linear or not. We just care if it's increasing, right? That would be an increasing function, or if it's decreasing, right? We don't care, right? We just want to know, is this an increasing function or is it a decreasing function? When it's 1 or really, really close to 1, that's definitely a strong, right? So let's go over the values. Sorry. Let's go over the values, right? So it's kind of the same exact thing with correlation, right? 1 means it's perfectly increasing monotonic function. All right. When R is greater than or equal to 0.85, right? We say that's a strong increasing monotonic function. Okay. When it is greater than 0.5, right, we say it's a moderate increasing monotonic function. Right? And again, all that means is, right, a moderate would look like it's kind of going up, but it has some points that go down too, and it goes back up. Right? You can just definitely tell it's increasing, but you can't really say a whole lot more. And when it's less than 0.5, like last time, it is a weak increasing monotonic function. Okay. We're going to do some examples. We're going to see the differences. All right. But this is how we're going to define them. And it's the same thing for when it's negative, right? When R sub S is -1, that means it's a perfect decreasing monotonic function. Meaning it's just strictly decreasing, right? The same thing when it's less than 0.85, negative 0.85, and yes, this means negative 0.90, negative 0.99. This is the right way to write it, right? We say it's strong decreasing monotonic function, right? Same, it was the exact same stuff, all right? Exact same stuff, except now it's just with the negative. Okay, so same rules, right? When it's 0.5, moderate, above 0.5 is moderate, below 0.5 is weak, and so on. Same exact stuff. So again, all we're looking at is this function going up? Is the function going down? That's all we care about. Sometimes it's all we care about. When it's linear, we definitely like correlation coefficient more. But when it's a nonlinear function, we usually like the Spearman Rank correlation coefficient. Okay, so pretty straightforward. All right, so go ahead and press. You're going to write these numbers down on your calculator, so go ahead and press pause and input these in your calculator. So we have our calculator, right? We have all the numbers, right? So first and foremost, let's always check the graph, right? You always got to check your graph. So zoom 9. All right, that looks kind of linear, maybe. Maybe that linear line matters, but right now all we care about is just doing a Spearman rank. All right. So it is definitely decreasing. So my Spearman rank should be a negative number because it is decreasing. Okay. Now, the number one thing with a Spearman rank correlation is in the word rank. We need to rank these numbers. So you have two options. Either you can do smallest to biggest, right? To biggest, or biggest to smallest. And it doesn't matter. The answer is going to be exactly the same, except if you do smallest to biggest for X, you have to do the exact same thing for Y. You don't switch them. It has to be exactly the same. All right. So let's go ahead and rank these. Now, the best way to rank, right? This is a lot of numbers. It's kind of hard to keep track of what's what. So the best way, the most absolute way to do this is we go to stat and we're going to use our sort list, sort A. So this means, hey, make my whatever numbers I have in L1, put them in ascending order. That means smallest to biggest, right? And in stat sort A, hey, do the same thing to L2. Boom. So now when we go, they're in order. Now, they're not the same numbers, right? Don't hit zoom 9. That's not going to work out, right? We don't care about that. All we care about right now is the order. Okay? So, my first smallest number is 9. So, we're going to put a number 1 above my 9. Okay? My next smallest number is 9.5, and we're going to put the rank of 2, right? This little number is your rank. It's the 2. 10 is 3. 11 is 4, followed by 12, which is 5. 12.5 is the rank of 6. And then 7. And then 8. All right, that's the ranks. That's all we care about, ranking them from smallest to biggest. Put them in order, right, with the numbers numerically right here, right? Don't switch these around. You're not going to switch the actual numbers around. All you care about is the ranks, okay? And we use a shortcut in our calculator to help us out. So the first smallest number is 79. So we're going to put a 1 under 79. We can put 82 as my next smallest. 87 is my third smallest. 88 is 4. 98 is 5. 102 is 6. 121 is 7. And 128 is 6. Is 8. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to graph our ranks, because our ranks should look like in order, right? We think about it. If it's negative, that means my first number should be my first X, my smallest X should have the largest Y, right? My second number should have the next biggest, and so on, right? My rank should look like this if it's perfectly decreasing, okay? Right, my first smallest number should have the biggest X. My smallest X should have the biggest Y, right? And my biggest X should have my smallest Y, right? Because that's a decreasing line. That's how you write it, right? So we're going to graph the ranks. So we're going to put these ranks here, okay? So I'm using L3. So I'm going to put 5, 8, 7, 1, 2, 4, 3, 6. All right. So the fifth number had the 4th. The 8th number had the 1. The 7th had the 3. the first smallest at the 8th, 2, 6, 4, 5, 3, 7, and 6, 2. All right. So we're going to graph these two, but now notice I put it in L3 and L4. Okay, L3 and L4. So that's what we're going to use. So we make our scatter plot. Let's do L3 and L4, right? And zoom 9. It looks is definitely decreasing, but it's not a straight line, right? To be a perfectly decreasing monotonic function, it will be a straight line. But it definitely is negative. Definitely is negative. Okay? Now, we're going to do one of two things. We can use the formula. Where we have to find the differences, square them, add them all up, multiply by 6, divide by the number of numbers you have cubed, and minus the number of numbers, and then subtract that from 1. That's way too many steps. Way too many steps, right? We have to subtract these, right? Find the differences. So 1, 7, 4, 7, 4, 1, 4, 4. Square those differences, add them up, and do all that. That's way too much work. So the shortcut to that is we're going to calculate the rank like normal. Like we're going to find the correlation coefficient of the ranks. All right, we're going to find the correlation coefficient of the ranks, these numbers right here. So mode, turn on, right? Stat, calculate, number 4. But remember, where did I put my ranks? Oh, I put my ranks in L3 and L4, right? You have to remember where you put your ranks. And all we care about is the R. So my Spearman rank correlation coefficient is negative 0.952. Okay? Again, that's all we care about. We care about the rank, which makes sense, right? It makes sense. It is definitely strong because it is pretty much a straight line, except, you know, you have a few different ones. But it's good, okay? If it was perfect, my line would look like this. That would be a perfectly straight line. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. This would be a perfectly straight line. But, you know, it's okay. It's not too far. It's not too far off. All right? So it looks good. It looks good. All right. So let's practice another one. Go ahead, press pause, input these numbers into your calculator, please. I'm going to do the same thing because I need to do that. So as you input these numbers, hopefully you see a little situation that we need to deal with. All right, you input all your numbers, right? Now, this is the thing though. Since we are using the calculator, you have to make sure the numbers are correct. Because you can't do this by hand. You can most definitely do this by hand, right? But we like to use their calculator's help. But you know what? F it. Let's do this by hand, right? So you want to sort these? Let's go ahead and sort them. But we can work it out. We can do it by hand too. So let's do smallest to biggest again. But again, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay. So let's find the smallest x. For this case, math is my x. My smallest is 13, so we're gonna put a 1. My next smallest is 14, so that's 2. Followed by 15, that's 3. But now we have two 19s. So which one's 4th and 5th? All right, which one is 4th? Which one is 5th? That's the issue. Well, we can't make both of these fourth, because that's not really how it happens. So what you're supposed to do is you take the average of their ranks. So if you say, Mr. Macho, well, they're both fourth place. Well, yes and no. Yes, they're both fourth place, but they can't do that. So we're gonna share the value. So if you think about it, this is one of these is supposed to be the fourth number, and the other one has to be the fifth number, right? One of them has to be the fourth, one of them has to be the fifth. So let's take the average. So 4 plus 5 divided by 2 is 4.5. So their ranks are 4.5 and 4.5. Now, what's next? Well, we can't use 5 because 4 and 5 is already taken. So this one has to be my 6th number, and then this one has to be my 7th number. Okay? If we try to use our calculator, right, it gives us the same thing. 13 is my first rank. 14 is my second rank. 15 is my third rank. Now, remember the ranks are this little number right here. This is your rank, right? This is my fourth and my fifth. Fourth and fifth. So again, we got to take the average of those two numbers. That's always going to happen. If you have 4 19s in a row, right? 19, 19, 19, 19. Then you would do 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 divided by 4. All right, you have to take the average of those. Right, and then 22nd ended up being my 6th number, which we have right, and then 23rd my 7th. It's the same thing. My first smallest in the Y's is this one. Followed by 14. Whoa, did I? Oh, whoa. My bad. This does not sort. It did not sort. I thought I made it sort. That ended up being wrong. All right. My first smallest is 9. So 9 and 9. So again, we gotta take the average of 1 and 2. The average of 1 and 2 is 1.5. So this is 1.5. This is 1.5. And then 10. That's 3 and 4. 3 and 4. So the average of 3 and 4 is 3.5 and 3.5. Okay. 11th is my 5th term. 12 is my 6th term. 14 is my 7th term. Okay. Notice there's no 1, there's no 2 because the average here. There's no 3, there's no 4 because they're stuck right here. Okay. So same thing, let's input them into L3. You can rewrite these over L1 and L2 if you want. It's all good. It doesn't matter. Okay, let's go ahead and graph them. L3 and L4 still on. Oops. Man, this is a mess. This is definitely not. It looks decreasing, right? So we're thinking it should be negative. But I'm thinking it's going to be a pretty weak negative monotonic function decreasing because that's very hard to tell that there's decreasing relationship. At least I think so. I don't think it's very, very strong. So let's go ahead and do it, right? So again, we're not going to use the formula, right? We're not going to use the formula. We're going to just find the correlation coefficient of the ranks. So make sure your mode stat diagnostic is on, right? It's still on. We're good. Stat, calculate. 4. I put my L3 in 04. That's correct. And then boom. All right. So it came out pretty good. It is, I guess it was moderate. Because since you can tell it's going down, you can tell it's decreasing. I guess that's what made it moderate. But that's like real close to being weak as well. Okay. Not too bad. So that's Spearman Rank correlation coefficient. Again, all you care about with Spearman Rank is it monotonic? Is it strictly increasing or strictly decreasing? If there's some back and forth, it is not really going to work out, right? If you do a parabola, If you do a parabola, that definitely is going to be a rank of 0 because you have two of them, right? There's increasing and decreasing. That's not going to work out too well. But the weaker it is, the less strong, the less strictly increasing or strictly decreasing it is. So we're going to do one more before you do your quizzes, right? So go ahead, press pause, and do this one really fast, please. Right, type it into your calculator. So try to do this one on your own, like legit from beginning to end. Just try to do it all on your own without looking at the answer. So again, just try to write it down, put it in your calculator, and do the work. Press pause so you won't see it, and then press play when you're done, and you can check your work with my work. Okay? All right. So hopefully you did press pause and didn't just just start taking notes, right? So the first rank, so this will be 1, 36 will be 2, that's 3, that's 4, that's 5, that's 6, that's 7, and hopefully this one raised up some eyebrows. That's 8, 9, and 10, right? So 8, 9, and 10. So 8 plus 9 plus 10, right? We're going to divide by 3, because again, you're adding 3 numbers, so you have to divide by 3, and that is 9, okay? So all these are going to get the rank of 9, okay? So again, that's what we do. We have to take the average, so of their potential ranks, okay? So all of these you should have gotten 9 for the 60s, okay? So 25 is my first smallest. 26 is 2. 28 is 3. 32 and 32. So both of these should have gotten 4.5. 33 is, again, if you look at it here, 6. That way you don't lose place. Always look at the number. 34 is 7. 35 is 8. And then 39 is 9. And 40 is just 10. Okay? Those are your ranks that you should have gotten. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 9, 9. 7, 6, 8, 9, 1, 10, 4.5, 4.5, 3, and 2. Right? And then you should graph your data. Always graph your data. Oof, that looks ugly. That is gonna be, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's positive. Right, but let's find out, right? Mode, turn on stat diagnostic, right? Stat, calculate number 4, oops, L3, L4, and boom. Okay, so my Pearson rank correlation, you should have got it, is negative 0.511. Okay, so your homework is the quizzes that's going to be closed by lunchtime today, and then you also have a document for the review sheet, so that's going to be due Monday. All right, your reviews due Monday. Get as much of it done, please. So on Monday, I'm just going to ask you for, hey, show me number 2F, and either you have it and you get a free 100. If you don't, you get a 50. Simple as that. Work together as a class. I don't care. Do it all as a class, do it all independently or with a partner. It's all good. I just need it done. All right, cool.